People, this week we've got Callum, the Southampton filmmaker.
I didn't know what I was doing at first. I was winging it. I was just like, I didn't know what settings to use. I was just filming because I wanted to. Yeah, I filmed my first short film, which got about 8,000 views. So I was like, huh, let's try and progress on that. It's never an easy process. It's not. Like, it looks easy because other people have done it, and you're like, oh, they've done it. It must be. No, it's not.
What are the little things that go into producing a short film?
Because there's so many things going on, things get slipped under the rug, you know. It is hard to make everything go as smooth as you want. So first things first.
Callum!
Hello.
No, we made it.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
No man, it's a pleasure, I'm excited. And you said off camera, this is your first time.
It is. It is my first time in front of camera.
Yeah man, honour. The honour is, I feel honoured.
So if I look awkward, I do apologise.
No man, you're good. So, okay, cool, well, so welcome to the What's Going On show.
Yes.
The show where we shine the light on people doing things in communities. And you yourself are a filmmaker and producer, editor, the whole shebang. And I hear the journey, I hear it. So you recently released a film, and we'll go into that a bit later. But before we do start, got a little tradition on this show.
Go on.
So instead of me giving you a mad introduction, I'll give you a little one, but instead of giving you an introduction, let's just give it straight over to you. So who in a nutshell is Callum?
Okay, so I run a company called Blueboard Productions. I've done short films, music videos, promos, just various different like passion projects. I try and do literally a bit of everything, like stemming from like horror short films to doing a promo on a yacht, doing music videos for various different artists. I just try and just dip my toe in various projects just to keep myself just constantly learning and never ending up in a rut, essentially. Trying to push the boundary, trying to extend my portfolio and that kind of thing, really.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, interesting. Okay, so where did it all stem from then? So when did you know that this was the career path for you?
So I guess it started when I went to college. So I picked TV and film because my friends were doing it. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I know that sounds lame, but it's true. And then it wasn't until like my last year of college where I was like, you know what? I really enjoy creative writing. There's cameras here. Why don't I just write a script, pick up a camera? I didn't know what I was doing at first. I was winging it. I was just like, I didn't know what settings to use. I was just filming because I wanted to. Mainly because then I have something I can work with and learn. So I had some people who were not actors, but you got to start somewhere, yeah? Yeah. So I filmed my first short film, which got about 8,000 views. So I was like, huh.
Really good.
I didn't even know what I was doing, and then it got to that, so I was like, let's try and progress on that. And then my college teachers were actually like trying to help me and stuff, and I was like, this is really cool. I went to uni as like a last minute decision because I was like, do I really want to go to uni? Do I not? I don't know. So I went to university and then started learning obviously a lot with different cameras, just different editing softwares, that kind of thing. And then it wasn't until my second year where I met my old mentor, Wayne Johns, who just taught me everything. Like, he's a Fujifilm and Arri ambassador. So he's just an incredible photographer, and he knows everything about lighting, framing, just you name it. He knows it all. It's mad. Mm-hmm. So he taught me quite a lot, and really just sort of gave me the guidance to be like, okay, try and go this direction, try this, try that. Just because before I was like, I can't go and shoot that because I need this, I need that. And he's like, no, go out to the woods, go shoot some B-roll, because guess what? That tree is not going to move. you can film that tree however you want. You can film it whatever season, because then you can practice, filming in the woods, cut into a beat, color grading, that kind of thing. Then you can send it to people and be like, that's what I can do. Would you like to be in these types of videos? Like, just even walk around the woods just so you can get a sense of tracking and that kind of thing. Just to really build the basics, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, I've done short films before. I've now come to a point where I'm learning different skill sets. Using a gimbal, because that was a massive game changer for me. Because I was like, this is amazing. And then, just I was just using Instagram. Like, Instagram was quite a big motivator for me as well. Like, how I got into it.
Okay.
Because I was seeing other creatives obviously using it, and just the amount of different types of videos they were doing, and obviously the engagement and stuff, and I was like, I want to do that. So I just started just posting constantly on Instagram and being like, okay, well, what can I do next? And then just reaching out to whoever, being like, can I do a music video for you? Can I do a promo for you? Can I do whatever type of video? Because I just wanted to get my name out there and just fully just learn everything to get to where I am now.
Interesting. I love a story like that. You don't know what you're going to do, and then you end up, doing something completely random, but you love it.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay. So that was sort of the background there. What was your first sort of short film about?
So it was about, basically, I made this in 2016. It's my first ever short film. Don't judge me. So I was just noticing how everyone is so hooked on their phone, and I wanted to make it like a very to the point where they're literally handcuffed to their phone. So essentially, this guy, it goes through life before social media. Back in the day, we used to knock on someone's house, but I was so and so in, and be like, come downstairs, whatever. And there was more of a community, I guess. I really sound like an old man right now, but it's just how the story went. But it's and then it got to sort of like when social media was sort of kicking off, and people were checking the phone like a micro Twitch essentially. Then it got even further, and everyone was like literally hooked to their phone, like they're handcuffed to their phone. And this guy is seeing like all his friends, like his girlfriend, like just so many people around him, basically becoming like a mindless zombie to their phone. And I just wanted to showcase that in real time as it's happening. And then that was my first.
Interesting. I mean, so on the concept then, you say people glued to their phones.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a problem in society?
Yes and no.
What do you mean?
Okay, so obviously it's great for me because people are constantly checking their phones, seeing like constant different videos. It's great for engagement. Love that. On the flip side is it's just a lot of it. You're just dead scrolling, doom scrolling even. You're not really getting anything out of it. And you look at the time like, wow, I've just wasted 2 hours just scrolling on my phone. Like, what have I actually achieved in that 2 hours? So it is hard because obviously the internet, you can learn everything and nothing at the same time. So it depends on where you go with it. If you use it as a tool, brilliant. If you don't use it as a tool, and it's fine for like, if you want to use it for something funny or whatever, just a bit of light-hearted entertainment, that's fine. But when it becomes like a big part of your day, and you're just sort of procrastinating quite a lot, then it can be quite detrimental towards anything you want to do, really.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's quite a deep answer, but
it's true, isn't it? It's one of those. Okay. So you say you're in your rocky cut scene, if you will, trying to build your network, trying to find clients, doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
How was that for you? Your first ever paid gig, how was that?
What, do you mean like getting up to that point, or do you mean
let's say that rocky cut scene to that first point, how was that for you?
To the first point?
Yeah.
It was tough
Mm.
because obviously you go into it thinking, oh yeah, I think I've got that many views, blah blah blah, it's fine. Then you get slapped in the face with reality, going, you actually don't know what you're doing. And I'm like, okay. So you go back to the drawing board, you try to learn more. It's never an easy process. It's not. Like, it looks easy because other people have done it, and you're like, oh, they've done it. It must be. No, it's not. You have to really learn that there are more no's than yeses when you start out. Well, not even when you start out, just in general. There's just it's a case of, like, even when I got my first paid role, which was a music video actually. It was while I was at uni, which was great.
Yeah.
And then so I got to use all the uni equipment, and I got paid on top of that, so which was nice. And yeah, there were still things that you look back at it now and you're like, oh, I could have done that so much better. But at the same point, I needed to do it to learn, to, you know how much to charge, that kind of thing. So it's tough. It is tough.
It is tough. It is so tough. I remember when I first did my first paid gig. Gosh, yeah, same thing. You're like, that imposter syndrome. You know what I mean? That's what I was going to ask. So, did you, or do you still have imposter syndrome?
Can you elaborate?
So, do you know what imposter syndrome is?
No.
So, like, imposter syndrome is when you don't feel like you should be in that position. So, you feel like an imposter, if you will.
Okay, that's what I mean. I'm going to say no. Only because, like, I know that there's loads of things I need to improve on. Like, there are. Like, there's, I'm trying to improve every single video. But if I were to say yes, then that means that I don't know how good I can get. You see what I mean? Whereas I'm still learning, I'm still growing, blah blah blah. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and go, yeah, I know everything, I'm the best. I'm not. Like, but at the same point, you know, my journey from not knowing anything to knowing a lot more, I guess, shows that, you know, I put the time and effort into growing myself. So I don't feel like I'm an imposter because I've sort of grinded up to that point. So to the answer, no.
Makes sense.
Just
so if you put the work, because you put the work in, you don't feel like that imposter. So
yeah, if I had, I don't know, everything just sort of been like handed to me from the get-go, then yeah, I would feel like an imposter.
For sure.
But I did have to put the work in, so I don't feel like an imposter.
Nice. No, good. That's good stuff. That's good to know. Okay, cool. So back to the story then. So when you were building that Rocky cutscene,
yeah,
how was it building a network, and how important is it to have a network?
It was tough to build a network. So I did go to like different networking events, that kind of thing, just trying to get my name out there. And some people you meet and you're just like, they are way above my league. Like, I know they say surround yourself with people better than you, but like, I was like down here, you probably can't see it though, yeah, and they're like all the way up here, and I'm just like, yeah, I can't do that. It's just like, I felt like I needed to prove myself a lot more to even say hello to that kind of person, because it's, I don't know, it's human nature, isn't it? Like, you compare yourself to other people, try and be like, how do I get to that point? I know you shouldn't do that, but we all do it. So yeah, there were times where you do find some people who you want to work with, they're really good, and then they move away for whatever reason, so and then you go back to the drawing board, and it's a case of it's weird because you find people who share the same passion with you, and you're like, oh, this is great, I can do this, I can do that, but they may not work the same way as you do, so it might not gel. But at first you think everyone will work the same way as you, and obviously they don't. So it's finding the right people to be with as well. So it is tough, but you just gotta almost sell yourself constantly to all these different people, even if they're like, no. It's a case of, I don't know, just this is what I do. Does it align with what you do? If so, cool. Can we create something together? Even if a project flops, it doesn't matter. Like you're both, you're both learning together to try and make better projects. Blah blah blah. It is a big learning curve. I hope that answers your question.
No, it does. And I was just you ignited another one. So it's like that constant. You said like not to compare yourself, and you shouldn't do that. But in this industry, when you're making videos, when people are watching them, that's what you're doing. I mean, if you turn on a film, if you turn on a film on your TV and you see it's rubbish, you're like, let's switch it off. So my question is, like how do you deal with a project that's gone wrong, basically? So if, for example, the client comes back and they say, I didn't really like it, how do you deal with that?
So obviously I've had it before where, you spend we've all had it. You spend a load of time on the edit and then you're like, oh, they're going to love this. And they're like, this isn't it. And you're like, ah. So the way I approach it now, before it used to be, I'm not going to lie, because you put so much time and effort into it and then they're like, yeah, we don't like it. And it does put a down on your day. But now you're like, well, you just got to go through just sit there talking to the client. Obviously, if it's a last minute decision, you can't do that. Obviously, if you rock up the day of filming because they need you last minute, you don't have that luxury of sitting with them. You're like, okay, what do you want? What don't you want? So in that case, it's kind of tricky. But the time you have got with that person, you can sort of iron out like, okay, these are the types of shots that you said that you wanted. These are the types of shots you said you don't. So you're following almost like a tick list. Like you're ticking off the ones that they want. Music, it can be subjective because sometimes they're there like, I want this type of music, and then you do it and they're like, actually it doesn't really work. That's always going to change. It's just how it is. So I guess it's a case of learning how to avoid things from the previous one. So if you think, I've got the checklist, I know they want this, and then it's not, you go back to the drawing board, you cross that out, like, okay, they don't want that for the next one. So you're always trying to appease what their vision is. Even if they can't see it straight away, you're giving them something to build on. So I always see it as like, even if they didn't want it, they now know what they want from that. So it's not really a waste of time. Because then if they didn't have the full vision at the beginning, you sent them what you thought, like, no, so we want it to be like this, this and this. There you go. They can now see what they want from what you've done. So you try and take it as a positive rather than a negative. And just really expand the next time. But moving forward from just my experience, I'm with my next client or whatever project it is, I'm trying to really go in on just the color grade, because color grade is not just about whatever you can see in camera. It's about the set design. It's about the type of sort of tones and imagery you want to portray, and that sort of warmth or coldness depending on what the project is. So just going even more depth and trying to show them examples that they can work from rather than them trying to come up with something, because it's easier to show them something than for them to come up with it. I hope that answers your question.
It does. So, when I first started out, and I don't know if it's the same for you, when I first started out, people used to come to me and go, what's your day rate?
Yeah.
And in the beginning, I was like, well, I don't know, I can do a project rate, I can charge you for this.
Yeah.
But over time, obviously, you work out a process.
Yeah.
So, we all have our own processes. So, what is your process when someone says, "What's your day rate?"
Okay, so at first, I don't actually reply with a number.
Nice.
Because if you, for example, set yourself, you know, let's just put a round number of, say, 500, right? Say you set yourself 500 and someone goes, okay, I'm going to come up with the most elaborate idea which is going to have loads of different things. That 500 isn't really going to be worth it, because now you're going to be working so much more and not getting paid as much as what you think. So it's a case of, you don't answer it, you say, what kind of project is it first? How many days do you want to film? What are the locations? Do we have access to those locations? Do you have to pay to go into these locations? Or do we have to source props? Do we have to, that kind of thing? So you're listing off all these different things. Then you can charge them for what you think the difficulty of it will be for your, just your hourly rate, I suppose.
Nice.
So never set yourself a set price, because people will abuse it and be like, oh, that's cheap, I can get them to do that, that and that. And then you're like for example, say you used to charge, oh yeah, I'll do 500 a day, right? And someone comes up to you and says, I want to film a wedding, 500 is really cheap. Now you just look like a mug.
Yeah,
So
it's true. It's so true. Yeah, do it on a quote by quote basis. Quote them up, people. Yeah, for real. Okay, cool. So that's the process. Now with film let me say this. So, okay, cool. So you've come out of uni. Let's go back to the story. So you come out of uni, and did you immediately decide to freelance, or obviously with Blueboard Productions, did you decide to just go full time on that, or
no? So I still needed to buy equipment. So I had my part-time job at JD Sports. So all of my paychecks from JD were going into buying film equipment, because I was like, it is a gamble, You could spend a load of money on equipment and not make any money, or not even get a job in the field that you want to be in. So, I could have just spent that money on whatever, right? But I didn't. I saved up, buying cameras, lighting, lenses, SD cards, computer, whatever, right? Just to get me started. Then all the time that I wasn't obviously working, just going out, trying to network, trying to do different videos. But then I still had that safety net of, obviously I know it's not much money because it's a part-time job, but you still got an income coming in, regardless of, you're doing stuff for free. Because when you're starting out, you can't really charge them, because they're like, well, you've never done this before. So it's quite cheeky to ask for some sort of payment. So I get it. And then I wanted to go into full-time freelance. But I finished uni in 2019. Oh. So I was then trying to, do freelancer side of JD, trying to get my name out there. And I was like, okay, 2020, I want to go out there, I want to freelance. COVID happened. So I was like, Luckily, I managed to do a short film in 2020, which was of a company called Ballet Soul, which was amazing. So we filmed a ballet version of Othello, just all around London, and it got to the semi-finals in the ARFF Berlin International Film Festival. That's a really long festival name. But yeah, I was really proud of that, because it was me and my friend Luke who went out and just filmed the whole thing, and then we edited it. So I was lead videographer, who was second camera operator. I edited it, color graded it. But yeah, it was brilliant, and the fact that we managed to get a lot of scenes in London with no one in the background was crazy.
Unbelievable. Yeah. I could imagine.
So yeah, I had that, and I was like, okay, 2021.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it was still in COVID. And then obviously we didn't get on to, what was it, like, what was it, March 2022? Was like sort of the end of lockdown sort of thing.
It was, yeah.
Correct.
Everything was. Yeah, it was a tricky time. It was a tricky
Yeah.
time. Yeah, it was about end of 2021 ish.
Yeah, but there were still a lot of people hesitant to do any sort of video because they're like, we don't know what's going to happen. So I'm like, fair enough.
Which is valid, yeah.
So yeah, and then I eventually got a job in 2022 doing video work, which was great. But it. Sorry, I'm going on a tangent here. I'm going longer than So, yeah, I eventually left JD because I was like, I've been here way too long now. I need to. I think the main thing that was holding me back as well was the fact that I couldn't drive until 2022. And when you're trying to lug equipment around without a car, you look like Buckaroo. You're just walking down the road, just carrying just so many different things, and it's not easy. And a lot of people are like, "Can you drive?" I'm like, no, not well, no then. Yeah. So, yeah, I finally passed my test, and I was like, okay, I can finally get a full-time job. But because I was so early on with my driving, the job I had at the time, they wanted me to drive everywhere, and I did not feel comfortable because I was only in 3, maybe 4 months of driving. I was like, no, thank you. So yeah, I was back to the drawing board, and then finally got to because I left that job in December, which was mad because obviously as people know, not many freelance jobs happen in winter. It's more of you get loads in the summer, fair amount in the autumn. As soon as it gets winter, it just dies off. So I was like, I'm now jobless. I'm now needing a job, and it's really hard to freelance at that point. So yeah, luckily my parents were just all cool with it, and they were like, you can just wait until you get another job, which is fine. Which took me a while, but it's fine. We got to there, and now I'm in the job which I really enjoy. It's really good, and I can still do projects alongside it, which is absolutely brilliant. So yeah, long-winded answer, but yeah.
roller coaster. I get it. I do get it. So, what are you up to now then? As in your job now?
So I do work for the MOD. So I can't specify too much about what I do.
Okay.
But yeah, so I do training content, which it varies. Some of it could be just sort of talking to camera, like I'm doing now. Some of it could be more intense kind of video. But there's a lot of variation is what I'm trying to say, and it's really good because it tests me, because that's what I love doing, as you know. I love doing loads of different types of videos. So it works really well with my sort of style.
Nice.
And just sort of, I don't know, just throwing myself into whatever and adapting to different videos and projects and scenarios and whatever.
Okay. Well, no, that's interesting. Okay, so a burning question I have is, you've got paid jobs.
Yeah.
And you've got passion projects.
Yeah.
Which do you prefer?
It depends on the job.
Okay.
Because some jobs could be a passion project.
Interesting. Go on.
So you could have, for example, a music video that the music artist trusts your vision, trusts where you want to go with the project. So you could have full responsibility of how it looks, that kind of thing, which does turn it into a passion project, but you are getting paid. So there is that. So you got that sort of fine balance. But on the flip side, you can have some paid projects where you're like, I don't really want to do this, but the money's good, and you just sort of, and it can look good in your portfolio, that kind of thing. So, because we've all done it. We've all had projects where, you know...
It's part and parcel of the game.
Exactly,
It
you
is
know?
part and parcel of the game.
And then you're like, if I do this, then I can fund my passion project. So it's, you know, you got to... Swings and roundabouts, right?
I get it.
But
I really do.
overall, I think passion projects, because that's why I started this, to tell stories, to, you know, bring visions to life, that kind of thing. Like, I didn't really start it as like I want to get paid to do this. It was more of like, just genuinely wanted to do this. So, definitely passion project, but if you get paid to do your passion project, absolute bonus. But yeah, so all passion projects all the way.
All the way. Love that. Love that. So, okay then. Segueing into filmmaking now.
Yeah.
So, when you're making a film, when you first do it, you're like, yeah, how hard can it be? Famous last words, right? So, what are the little things that go into producing a short film?
What, just from the very beginning?
From start to finish.
Okay. So from the years I've been doing it, you always find there's something that didn't go quite right. It's the same with like when you watch a Hollywood film and stuff, you know, you point out something in the background, like, that's not meant to be there. You're never going to get it 100%. I mean, look at Game of Thrones, you know, you had the Starbucks cup in the background. Like, how did no one spot that? But because there's so many things going on, things get slipped under the rug, you know. It is hard to make everything go as smooth as you want. It just doesn't happen. So to try and get it as close as possible, like I normally have... So first things first, before you even start filming, especially if you're filming outside, check the weather. Because the last thing you want to do is organise all these people to get there, and it rains. And then not only have you wasted your day, you've wasted those other people's days, and they could be out doing something else, but instead, you know, they've took the time out of their day to help on a project, which, you know, is amazing. So you don't really want to mess with their time. So check the weather, 100%. Make sure people just keep asking them days before, going, are you definitely free? Are you definitely free? Because if someone flakes, I said the whole project's just ruined, because you need that person. So, yeah, I'd say locations is definitely a big thing, because you can't just, you know, wing it and just be like, oh yeah, somewhere down there would be right. It's like, no, you need to go ahead of schedule, do a little recce, take some pictures, and be like, okay, so I can put the camera there if they walk down here. Having it at a certain time of day would be great. I know sometimes it's really tricky because some shots may take longer than others, and by the time you get to that location, the sun isn't where you want it to be, and you're like, ah. So you do have to do improvisation, which is fine, because, you know, it keeps you on your toes, keeps you creative. But yeah, you just gotta know that everything you planned, a lot of it you're not going to do, because it never works that way. So you've just got to improv and just set your parameters, have a checklist. Have I captured this? Because as soon as you're packed up and you left, those people who you had before might not have the flexibility to be like, oh yeah, I can come and do a reshoot. So you've got to make sure you've captured everything you want. And even if it wasn't in the initial brief, make sure you want to do it, because you don't want to get to the edit stage and be like, that would have been really helpful, because we've all done it. And I'd just say keep it organised in the beginning, because if you if you fail to prepare to fail. So just live by those words, because I mean I've done it. I've failed to prepare, and I've like failed in the long run. I'm like, So you just got to, it's a learning curve, you know. There'll be other things you pick up and be like, okay, I need to do that for next time. I need to do this for next time. Because if you do one project, you do the next project and be like, that's perfect. It's not. You're not doing it right.
Yeah. Smart, isn't it? Okay, cool. So that's what you should look out for in making a film. That makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, so on to what you've done. So you've recently released a short film.
Yeah.
And talk us through it. What was the inspiration and what's it all about?
Honestly, the inspiration it was just a picture. So we were in this, I don't know what kind of shop it is in Winchester. So I was with my girlfriend and my mate, just walking through, and I saw just this picture on the wall, and it was a picture of this person in a red cloak in the woods with just, it looked really cool. It was like a nice wide shot. So I really want that in like a showreel type of shot. So I was like, let's try and make something that revolves around that red cloak. So I messaged the group chat from the previous short film I did called The Collector. And I was like, I've seen this picture. I really want to make something that involves a red cloak in the woods. So I thought, why not have... Because I also wanted to do like cool transitions with... Because I wanted multiple locations with this red cloak. I was like, how do I do that? So I thought, why not have a pocket watch? Have it so the main character presses the pocket watch and it teleports them to another location, but this red cloak person is essentially trying to stalk these people to get the pocket watch. And so I mapped out 3 different locations. So you've got Boulderwood and the New Forest, which I love using Boulderwood because it's just a great spot. Netley Abbey, because the ruins are great.
Nice, yeah.
And then there's a place called Browndean, which is near Winchester, and it has this really cool church in the woods. It's just literally there in the woods, this cool little green church. It looks amazing. And yeah, so it's almost like this person, the red cloak, stalking these people, and then eventually she grabs the watch because they all 3 of them run away. One of them drops the pocket watch, and I wanted it so she stalks 2 other people, basically puts her hand on their shoulder, clicks the pocket watch and transports them to like another realm, but they're stuck in this sort of world, and then she teleports back and then is getting them one by one. And then have the twist where the main character at the end, it's just her and the woman in the red cloak, and they say like one must stay kind of thing. So the woman in the red cloak grabs the main character, presses the pocket watch, and then it flips. So the main character is now in the red cloak, and she's watching the beginning of the film from another perspective, watching herself with 2 other people finding the pocket watch as almost like a never-ending cycle. But it literally just stemmed from one picture, to be honest.
That is, isn't it? The creative process. Honestly, hits you at random times.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, cool. So you've released it now on YouTube. It's doing really well.
It's doing pretty good.
Yeah, congrats. So, how would you say on YouTube? How do you push a short film on YouTube? Would you say?
So obviously it starts with you and the people in the group chat trying to share it through like Facebook, Instagram, just whatever platform you want, right?
Yeah.
Just trying to push it out there. I would say just join loads of. So for example, this one is like a psychological horror, I guess. So you just join a load of horror Facebook groups. Just join as many as you can and just spam it in there.
No.
Because someone's going to see it, right? And someone might like it, and if that person likes it, they might share it. So you get that snowball effect, which is pretty cool. Spam people on Facebook Messenger, spam people on like Instagram, like DMs. Just try and get it out there as much as you can, because the last thing you want to do is spend all the time making a short film for no one to see it. Because then, so what's the point? So, yeah, it just, I don't know why, it just started growing really quickly. It's dropping off a little bit now, but it's fine, you know, it happens. But yeah, just watching it grow and grow and grow. But another thing as well is YouTube is kind of weird, because you got to put relevant things in the tags, and you can't just spam the tags either. So you've got to put a lot of different words, and especially the title. The title, you've got to make it appealing as well as the thumbnail. So it is hard, because sometimes you think that thumbnail's not very good, but for some reason I'm getting a load of views. Yeah. So it is a learning curve, but yeah, I'd say just spam it, and spam it, because it's the only way people are going to look at it.
Yeah, it is. Especially everyone's attention span now is like, you know, click of a finger and they're on to the next. It's crazy. Interesting. Okay, cool. So what is next then? Have you got another one in the pipeline?
So this one isn't my idea.
Okay.
So, but I really like the idea. It's really cool. So one of the actors from the previous short film, he wants to do a like an 1800 black and white silent short film, but silent in terms of dialogue. It's not silent in terms of music and sound effects, that kind of thing. So in short, it's essentially two characters which are kind of based on a bit of like George and Lenny from Mice and Men. So you've got the one character who is almost like aggressive in a sense, but he's only aggressive because the other character is like bringing him down to the same sort of level as that person, if you see what I mean. So I'm not going to spoil it, because obviously I want people to watch it. But it's going to be just purely, a lot of the scenes are happening, but the camera isn't going to move as much as my previous ones. Okay. So it's going to be quite different. It's going to be quite a challenge, but I think it's going to look really cool.
Looking forward to it. No, looking forward to it. Amazing. So, I mean, that's the question. So, as a long-term aim then, would you carry on with sort of like indie filmmaking, or would you always try and get a massive budget and go super
to be honest, what we're trying to do at the moment is gain an audience of the short films, to then try and push it to get funding for bigger projects, bigger set designs, you know, have people who specialise in certain roles who obviously won't do stuff for free, which is fair enough. But yeah, just to try and fund locations and crew members and that kind of thing. So yeah, just basically build an audience, take it to some sort of arts council or whoever's willing to fund, which would be amazing. And yeah, just try and create bigger and better projects.
Nice. Well, watch the space, as they say. Eh?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, cool, man. It's been good. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I really have enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next on the road. And it's been a pleasure, man.
It's been really good. Thank you for having me.
No, man, it's been good. And I guess we'll catch you in part 2.
Yeah, sounds good.
Alright, nice. Happy day. Callum, welcome to part 2.
Back again.
So, cool. Part 2 is where we go out into the street and we ask a question. And this is the part where it's completely blind to you. You have no idea what's going to happen. And yeah, so with this, I'll just go straight in. You can pause it at any time, react, listen till the end. It's entirely up to you.
Okay.
So, without further ado, let's just crack on. So, let's do this. Indie or blockbuster films?
I'd choose a blockbuster film.
So, like, you know, like big Hollywood, Fast and Furious, them sort of big blockbusters.
Well, I don't really watch many indie films, so I blockbuster, I suppose. So.
Indie or blockbuster films?
Oh, indie is better, but then I sound like
I don't even know what that means.
So it's like, yeah.
What's indie?
Indie's like, Wes Anderson vibes, I guess, but that's kind of blockbustery. But like small,
And what's blockbuster like? Top Gun
Big
Maverick or something?
Hollywood.
Like
Oh, okay.
Avengers.
Yeah. They both
Probably
are good for
blockbuster,
different
to be honest.
reasons.
Indie or blockbuster films?
Oh god, I don't like either.
Why? Why don't you like either?
Doesn't like either.
I don't know, I only like comedy and romance.
What do you prefer? Indie or blockbuster films?
Again. My English is a little bad.
Okay, so do you like big films like The Avengers, like those sort of films? Or
Yeah.
indie films, so small budget films?
No, the Avenger and that. The big film.
Yeah. Indie or blockbuster films?
I think they've both got their own merits, but independent films are better in the sense that they've got more freedom to kind of do what they want and put out a broader and better message. Yeah. Whereas blockbuster films have more money, so they can do better special effects and obviously better actors and stuff. So it's kind of like 6 of some, half a dozen of another. If I had to choose, indie, just because you're always going to get a better story.
Do you prefer indie or blockbuster films?
Budget films, I don't know this word.
So like a film that's spent a lot of money to make, or a film that's spent not a lot of money to make?
I don't know.
All right, so that was the question. Now, what are your thoughts?
I mean, recently, I would say indie films.
Okay.
Only because the people that know that I'm. It takes a lot to please me in a film nowadays, because every single film I've seen in cinema this year have just not been great. Like, I'm not gonna lie, there's just 2025 is not a good year for film. There might be something else that comes out later that might change my mind, but at the moment, nothing's been great. Like, I've seen better. I know this isn't your question, but I've seen better TV series this year than actual blockbuster films, and that usually isn't the case. It's normally the other way around, but people just, I don't know, they either rehash, just remake, and then make it worse than the original, and there's no new ideas essentially. And I don't know, it is kind of sad. So whereas as that guy that you interviewed in the, like, was it a food truck?
Yeah. Outside Daddy Belly.
Yeah. He had the right answer of, you know, you have more creative to tell the story you want to tell, whereas if you look at I don't know, even a Marvel film, right? A lot of the time people are like, that isn't comic accurate, that isn't blah blah blah, but it's because there's so many people giving their 2 cents, and like, oh, but it needs to appease this person, it needs to appease that person. It loses its original audience essentially. And it's like, you know what, 28 years later, have you seen it?
I have not seen it yet.
Okay.
Is it literally a continuation of like 28 weeks later? 28 days, like I said, 28 days, 28 weeks.
Obviously it's in the same universe, but
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's a direct,
Okay, cool.
like,
I just wanted to know
this
that,
is what happens after 28 weeks. It doesn't really do that. But a lot of films nowadays, like, actually, you know what? 28 Years Later and Sinners, there's too many things happening in one film that the original story gets lost. Like, they try and, I don't know, like, shoehorn certain aspects of of these characters, right?
What does a shoehorn mean? What do you mean?
So, like an afterthought.
Okay.
Like, they'd be like, it's almost like, I'm probably wrong, but I can see it in my head as I'm watching it. They're like, it'd be really cool if we could add this in it. And then they do, and then they forget why they added it in the edit, and they're just like, just keep it in, it's fine. And then it's like, I don't know, it leaves the audience going, well, who's that person? Why are they here? They literally just went into the film for like 5 minutes, make it out as if there's some big thing, then they just dipped. And you're like, well, okay. But yeah, they try and cram too many stories into one story, and it just gets lost. And when you watch 20 Years Later, you understand what I mean by that.
Really? See, I've wanted to see it, and now I'm like, have you seen the new film by Wes Anderson?
I haven't.
Apparently, I don't know.
It's got a lot of mixed reviews.
Okay, I've got high hopes.
But I don't know. I don't get excited for films anymore. I was saying this to my friend the other day. I was like, what was the last film you saw where you went to cinema, you watched it, and someone's like, please don't spoil it for me, please don't spoil it for me. And like, people were not going on Instagram, not going on like TikTok, whatever, right? Just to avoid spoilers. What was the last film?
Jeez. It was so long ago.
Exactly.
So long ago. Everything's changed now though, hasn't it? Because you can, as soon as a film comes out, you'll see literally like a spoiler on some sort of social media.
Yeah. But I think I could be in the minority here, but for me, I think it was Avengers Endgame.
Okay.
Because so many people are, please don't spoil it, who dies, blah blah blah. So I feel like we haven't had a film where loads of people are talking about it in quite some time. Which is why I think it goes back to my original answer of, it used to be Blockbuster and now it's more indie film. Because of that reason, because they've got so much money but they don't utilise what you should do, what the audience wants. Because so many people are like, no one else for that.
Yeah, I wonder why they do that though. I actually wonder, because I mean, I heard something, I don't know if it's true, but I think I listened to something once, and they said that kind of what you said there, like all the old, basically the same ideas are getting regurgitated and brought up, and I don't know, but I don't know if someone's passed in like Hollywood or some of the big studios out there, but it's like they can't come up with new concepts. It's kind of always the same.
So I was watching a video on why that is.
Okay.
It could be wrong. I don't know. I'm just saying what that video said.
Yeah.
And the person in the video said that essentially because films cost so much money now to make, because I don't know, it's just budgets are getting bigger and bigger and people expecting a bigger turnover, that kind of thing. They're saying it's too risky to try something new, and if it flops, then the people who are funding it essentially aren't making a profit. So it's like, if you stick with what you know, they kind of treat it as like, imagine you go to a restaurant, right? So you got your menu, you know the kind of food you like, and someone says, "I should try that," and you're like, "Oh, but it's 50 quid. Do I really want to spend 50 quid on something I don't know if I'm going to like it or not?" You're going to be in two minds about it. One minute you could really like it, the other minute you're like, it's a bit of a gamble, right? So imagine that with the companies funding these big blockbuster films. It's like, do we really want to put a load of money into something that a lot of people might not even watch?
It's fair.
It's the same kind of thing, really.
It's fair. Okay, so bit of a tangent from the question then.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on AI in filmmaking?
I mean, it's not... So, Have you seen Google's VEO, or I don't know how you pronounce it, VEO3? I don't know if it's pronounced
think
VEO
so.
or VO, or
Yeah,
I don't know what it's called. So they're rolling that out,
I have seen it. Yeah.
which
Yeah,
is, I think it's something like £250 a month, and it's text to video prompts. The only problem with that, it sounds brilliant, right? You're like, oh yeah, I can have whatever type of shot I want, I can have whatever weather, that's all well and good. But if you want to fine tune it to be like, make the drain cover purple, it's going to struggle. It's going to be like, I can't do that. Like, it won't do individual pieces and be like, oh, can you make that person walk slower? I mean, it may make that person walk slower, but then they're going to walk really unnatural, and it can't do fine like adjustments. It just spits out something at you, and then if you want to change it, it's like, no.
Yeah, no. Okay.
So it's like, it's good if you want something that looks really basic. Not basic, because it still looks good, but not how you want it. That's fine. But if you want to make it more to fit with your vision, it's not going to be able to do it.
Interesting. Yeah, because I think I was listening to something yesterday, and it was with to be fair, I don't really like to shout them out like that, but it was with the Diary of a CEO guy. What's his name? Stephen Lawrence? No, it's not Stephen Lawrence.
What's his name?
Stephen Bartlett.
Yeah.
And it was with Kevin O'Leary and the guy from Shark Tank.
Yeah.
And basically, this Kevin O'Leary was like, he went to Dubai or Arab Emirates or somewhere like that, and they created a video without him there of him in it.
Okay.
So it was all green screen. He went there, did a few bits. They went, and then they created a whole video without him being there. And it was with him in. It had a script. It was like an actual ad or commercial. And don't you think that's quite? How do you think? Where do you think videographers and filmmakers stand when there's AI and big computer bots to compete against, or not even compete against, but have in existence at the same time?
It is a hard one because obviously it's only going to get better as years go on. So, but at the moment, you again a bit of a tandem, but it makes sense of why I'm saying this. So if you look at, say, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, right? All of the artists who create just like the emblems and titles and stuff that you get, a lot of them got fired and replaced with AI. Now there was one with like to do with zombies, and the zombie had six fingers, so it doesn't have 6 fingers. And then there's other things where it's like adding random body parts and stuff, and they're becoming really lazy with it. So whereas someone would actually take the time and effort into creating something that the people who bought the game want to see, because I mean the game's not cheap. So where I'm going with that with film is you've got all these amazing artists out there who can create some fantastic pieces of work. I mean, yeah, it might take a little longer, but would you rather something looks amazing and will stand the test of time? Bit of an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. Or something that's rushed and then you've got like random limbs on people and just looks really bad. And I think there's a lot of companies out there that are like, but we need to get this done now, and it's like, why? If you delay it a bit, like GTA 6, that's been delayed. People are still going to buy it.
Yeah.
So it's like, if people want something, they will wait. And if you're just throwing it out for money, people will soon clock onto that and be like, yeah, there's no love for the game. They're just pushing it out, getting a check at the end of the day, and they will boycott whatever they're trying to push because it's not anything they want. So I guess, I think more and more people are now noticing that AI is still in its infancy. It's still not great. So, yeah, we'll find at the moment.
We'll find out soon enough, Well, yeah, no, cool. Well, yeah. Any last thoughts on the video? Just coming back to the vid.
Just like that woman that was like, I like neither. I'm like, what? What do you mean?
Oh man, each to their own, as they say, each to their own. But yeah, Callum, that brings us to a lovely close then.
Cool.
Nice. And yeah, again, it's been a pleasure talking to you today.
It's been amazing.
Really good, really good. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next.
Yeah. Hopefully I didn't come across awkward because this is my first time.
You did great for your first time, let me tell you. Great for yeah.
Please let me know in the comments if I was awkward. Be honest.
Legend. And yeah, no, nice man. And I'll catch you in the next.
Yeah, sounds good.
Happy days.